Hello everyone. Rasam is always a staple food for any South Indian cuisine. There are different varieties of rasam, and in that series today we're going to see a different rasam which is nothing but the beetle leaf rasam, or in Tamil it is called as the vettalai rasam. Beetle leaves are an excellent source of calcium, and especially for the lactating mothers. It helps in the digestion of food and also helps in the stomach discomfort, especially after having a heavy food. So before we go into the procedure as to how to prepare the vettalai rasam, if you're watching my video for the first time, I would request you all to subscribe to my channel and also click on the bell icon for further interesting recipes and notifications. The ingredients required for preparing the beetle leaf rasam are: I've taken about 5 to 6 beetle leaves, 2 to 3 tomatoes finely chopped, some coriander leaves finely chopped, some curry leaves finely chopped. For the masala powders, I've taken half a teaspoon turmeric powder, 1 teaspoon rasam powder, half teaspoon jaggery powder and salt as per taste. I've also taken a lemon size tamarind which is soaked in hot water, 1.5 teaspoons of peppercorns and 1 teaspoon of jeera which is going to be coarsely crushed, and 3 to 4 flakes of garlic which is optional. For the seasoning, 1 teaspoon of mustard seeds, 1 teaspoon of jeera seeds and 2 to 3 red chilies and half a teaspoon of hing or the asafoetida powder, pure desi ghee. So first we're going to take the beetle leaves and we're going to cut it into small pieces like this and add it in the mixie jar. So the care should be taken, like you can take out the middle, which is a thick fiber which is coming like this. You can discard that and you can just cut it into small pieces and add it in the mixie. So I'm going to add some beetle leaves along with the stem of the coriander. This also gives you a very good flavor. And I'm going to add half of the tomatoes in the mixie jar and we're going to coarsely grind it. The remaining half I'll just add it in the rasam. So I have the coarsely ground tomato and the coriander stem along with some beetle leaves, the paste. So I'll be adding that in the vessel. And also I'll be adding the tamarind pulp. It's always a good practice to filter using a filter, tea filter or something, so that all the sediments gets accumulated in the filter. This is especially useful for the beginners. You can do it using your hand, but what happens is at times it just tends to fall off in the vessels, which is not good for health. So it's always better to use a filter. This is a small tip which I want to provide for the beginners. I'll also be adding some water in the mixie jar and I'll be adding it in the vessel. So now we have added the tamarind pulp in the coarsely ground paste, and now we're going to add the tomatoes as well. I'm also going to add some coriander leaves, some curry leaves, because this will have a very good flavor for the rasam, and the remaining we can add it for garnishing. I'm going to add some jaggery powder. The jaggery powder is actually optional, but it actually balances the flavor of the rasam. Half teaspoon turmeric powder. Then I'm also going to add the rasam powder and also salt as per taste. Now while this is getting cooked, I'm going to coarsely powder the pepper and the jeera. You can either use a chisel like this and then coarsely grind it, or you can coarsely grind it in a mixie jar. Now we're going to add the coarsely ground pepper jeera powder also in the rasam. This actually enhances the flavor of the rasam, and it is always advisable to do it fresh. So the rasam need not boil for a very long time. So if it just comes to a bubbling consistency, you can just switch off. Meanwhile, we're going to crush the garlic coarsely. Now you can see that the rasam has started to bubble from the sides. At this stage, we can just switch off the gas. So now we've come to the final part where we're going to season. I've added 2 to 3 teaspoons of ghee in a hot pan. It's always better to add ghee. It gives you a very good flavor for the rasam. So once the ghee is getting heated up, I'm just going to add the mustard seeds as well as the jeera, and also I'm adding 2 to 3 red chilies which is split. So once the mustard seeds begin to splutter, I'm just going to add half a teaspoon of hing or the asafoetida. Just switch off the gas. Now I'll add some curry leaves as well. As I told you earlier, we can even add some crushed garlic. So I'm just going to add the crushed garlic in a teaspoon of ghee. You can fry it nicely. So once the garlic gets fried into a light brown color, you can switch off the gas and you can transfer it to the hot steaming beetle leaf rasam. Some more curry leaves to the hot pan. This can be had like a soup as an appetizer, or it can be had with hot steaming rice. I hope you'll all try out this healthy recipe, beetle leaf rasam, which is extremely beneficial, especially in these days of pandemic. I hope you'll all try out this recipe, and if you like it, please share it with your friends and relatives. Have a spicy day.